Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 8 of NWA Chicago. We have another fantastic episode of NWA Main Event Showcase today, including Alpha Female versus Kaylee Ray for the Women's Championship. That will be a phenomenal match, so I don't need to tell you anything else. Let's just run the show and see what happens. In a terrible pre-show match, Flip Gordon defeated Argos in 10:52 by pinfall, 32E+. Both were visibly tiring towards the end of the match in a high spots match, 35 for Gordon and 23 for Argos. Just getting Flip Gordon, a good match there, going over. In a terrible match, David Starr defeated Hurricane Helms in 9:50 by pinfall, 31E+ for the match, 25 for Starr, and 30 for Hurricane Helms. So I really don't have anything to do with Hurricane Helms. I don't have any plans. Just putting the younger guy over right now. I don't have anything for him. I'll be honest, I signed him, and I didn't really have a plan. So let's see what happens. Rob Van Dam makes his way into the NWA arena. He says, Wow, he's getting a pretty good ovation. I knew it was a good decision to make the jump to NWA Chicago. My match with Tyler Bate last week was one of the best matches I've had in a long time. I really dig what Billy's been doing with this company. I knew I had to come aboard. I can't wait till the big guy enters the arena and makes his way into the ring. He comes face to face with RVD. And he says, 2 weeks, all in. Rob Van Dam, the big guy. The big guy then pushes Rob Van Dam down, and he walks away. Van Dam did a masterful job of improvising interactions with the crowd. 74 B-, our highest rated segment of the series so far, comes at the hands of RVD and the big guy. Obviously, these are two very large names, and two of the largest names on our roster. The angle got the crowd hotter, which is good to see. I probably should have had this later on in the show, but I like it. Very good. In a terrible match, Christina Von Eerie and Toni Storm defeated Ivelisse Valdez and Mischief in 11:41 when Toni Storm defeated Mischief by pinfall with a strong 0. So Toni Storm competes for the second week in a row on Main Event Showcase. She was off her game, however. She had a 25, 34 for Von Eerie, 32 for Mischief, and a 31 for Valdez. So I'm happy that my women are starting to perform better than they have been. I'm really looking to make women a focal point of the show a little bit later on in the series, so it's really good to see that they're improving a lot. And the match got the crowd hotter, 33E+, and now, after the match, Ivelisse attacks Toni Storm and Christina Von Eerie. Mischief tries to pull her off, and Ivelisse pushes Mischief to the ground and begins attacking her, beating her down. She grabs a mic after she's thoroughly beaten all three women, and he says, apparently, there's no room at the top of this division. Apparently, it's just Tenille, Kay, and Alpha Female. You have to make a statement to get recognized. Well, here's mine. I hope you can... Toni Storm clotheslines her from behind. The two are getting into a brawl on the ground. It's a total cat fight. They're just beating each other up. And you know the classic wrestling thing of one of them's on top beating the other down. And then they roll and the other one's on top beating that one down. And that just keeps happening. And then Von Eerie... I spelled Von Eerie way wrong. Von Eerie and Mischief try and separate them, but they can't. Men from the locker room then storm the ring and pull the two women apart. They're kicking and screaming. They're yelling at each other. So this sets up a nice little rivalry for Toni Storm and Ivelisse. I should have set up a storyline. Damn it, my bad. But 37 D-, I'm very happy with that one. That's a great women's segment, and it's a good setup for future plans. Good job, ladies. Joe Hendry is in the ring again. Local hero Joe Hendry's back, and he says, This is my last chance to make it. Billy Corgan has given me one final opportunity to earn my NWA Chicago contract. He's promised me a top contender to prove my worth. I will not. I cannot fail. So whoever it may be, bring it on. 31E+, Joe Hendry has one final opportunity to earn an NWA Chicago contract. And he faces Cody. In about that, a decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Cody defeated Joe Hendry in 11:49 by pinfall with a Crossroads 49D+. Very happy with that. I think that might be our highest rated match so far. That's very good. Joe Hendry had a 24 and Cody had a 58. So I'm very happy to see that Cody performed that well in the ring, especially in his debut match. that gives me a lot of hope for his potential future in the company. But now we move into the next segment. After the match, Cody has a microphone, and he says, "I find it funny that Nick Aldis would say all those things about me last week, knowing full well I was not here. He couldn't say that I wasn't worthy to my face. Nick Aldis is going to run his mouth, beg, and plead to not defend that NWA World Heavyweight Championship against me. Because he knows he's never been in the ring with someone of my talent level. I'm a second-generation star. The talent, the pedigree, it scares Nick. You call yourself the dealer? Well, how about we raise the stakes? We raise the buy-in. If you man up and face me, I'll put my family legacy, my career on the line. I will leave this industry. You won't have to worry about the Prince ever again. But here's the catch. If I raise my buy-in, you have to raise yours. Because if I'm going out, it's going to be in a tribute to my father. In a bull rope match." So Cody ups the ante for All In. The NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis, puts up his title. Cody Rhodes, the second-generation star, puts up his career in a good old-fashioned bull rope match. Cody did not do well without a script to follow. I'm thoroughly surprised by that. 53C-. I'm happy with the segment there. Really excited to lead into this main event match at All In. Very happy. In about that of the Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, Kaylee Ray defeated Alpha Female in 12:41 when Alpha Female was disqualified when Tenille Dashwood ran in and attacked Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray makes defense number 2 of her NWA World Women's title. 40D-. I think this is our best women's match so far. 41 for Kaylee Ray and a 29 for Alpha Female here. Kaylee Ray was also off her game. So Tenille Dashwood comes in, ruins another match. In about that in Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, Kaylee Ray defeated Alpha Female in 12:41 when Alpha Female was disqualified when Tenille Dashwood ran in and attacked Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray makes defense number 2 of the women's title. So what happens here is Tenille Dashwood comes in. She just blatantly hits Kaylee Ray in front of the referee to cause the disqualification. Ruins the match. Clearly she was unhappy. 41 for Kaylee Ray, 29 for Alpha Female. So after she does this, 40D- for the match. I think that was actually our best women's match so far. But I digress. After this happens, Tenille Dashwood rolls out of the ring as Alpha Female runs at the ropes furiously trying to get Tenille Dashwood. Dashwood grabs a mic and she says, "No, no, no. That's not how we're going to do things. You did not earn a title match, Alpha Female. You're not holding that NWA World Women's Championship before I do. I deserve it, and I'm going to prove it next week. Alpha Female, I challenge you to a match, 1-on-1. I will be the first woman to pin you in the middle of that ring, and then Billy will have no choice but to give me a championship match and crown me the champion of this division, because we all already know that this women's division is all about me." 34E+. Tenille Dashwood did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. This was based on her microphone and Alpha Female's menace, which is why I think it scored a little bit lower than I expected it to. But we set up a huge number 1 contenders match next week that will determine the number 1 contender for Kaylee Ray's World Women's Championship at All In. Alpha Female versus Tenille Dashwood. And this is in addition to our tag team title match next week. That is the Havana Pitbulls versus Scott Steiner and Petey Williams. Exciting stuff, guys. In about that in Subpar Wrestling in Little Heat, Tyler Bate defeats Ricky Reyes in 14:01 by pinfall with a Tyler Driver 97. Bate makes defense number 5 of his NWA World Television title. 37 for Bate, 36 for Ricky Reyes. So I didn't know who to have answer Tyler Bates' open challenge this week. So we went with Ricky Reyes, a solid performer in the ring, as Tyler Bate just keeps racking up wins for this NWA World Television title. Will anyone on this roster be able to take the television title away from Tyler Bate? That is a question that we will have to see soon. That is the end of the show. So predicting what we got, I think that we got a solid D. We had some very, very solid segments on the show. There was only a handful of E and E plus segments, and a lot of D, D minus, C's, and a B minus. So I'm actually going to say we got a low D plus, because there was 2 very, very good segments on this show. We got a D, solid D, 47D, happy with that. Show increased our popularity in 18 regions, so we're getting a little bit more consistent with our shows, which I'm very, very happy with. We're setting up multiple storylines, and I'm very excited for the future of NWA Chicago. Now, let's see what we got on television. Alright, so that episode of NWA Main Event Showcase was held, as always, in the NWA Arena in Chicago, Illinois, in front of 1,509 fans. So our attendance has really been kind of finicky. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But what has been pretty consistent is our TV viewership. We once again get a .03, 22,540 viewers, only down a little bit from last week's show. Last week's show was pretty good. I feel like this week's show was also very good. It was pretty star-studded as well. We had RVD, the big guy, Cody, we had our top women talent, we had Tyler Bate, but apparently it wasn't good enough to bring that extra 160 viewers in. But it got a 47D, which is tied for our second highest rated show in the series, so I'm very happy with that. And now we stand only 2 shows away from All In. The card is shaping up, and we have a great show planned for next week. So I hope you guys tune in to the next episode. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in that episode.